Okay, so Capricorn, or the other person here, has got the Eight of Wands as how they view the relationship, what their mindset is regarding the relationship, and they're moving fast. Okay, they're thinking about moving fast, getting things rolling. They see progress, and they're making great progress. They feel like they're making great strides and great progress with this relationship. I think this person may also feel like this relationship may be moving a little fast, too fast, as a matter of fact, faster than they anticipated. And I don't think they realize that this stuff is happening fairly quickly, and they have to kind of jump on board. Like, I think they wanted this to happen. I think they wanted things to move forward, but I didn't think they anticipated it to be this fast, this quick, like lightning fast. Like, they just like felt this energy. They're like, okay, this is good. I like it. Arrows of love, they fall in love, but then at the same time, they fall in love real fast, and they're like, wow, I did not anticipate it going this fast. Perhaps let's try to figure out what we need to do as fast as we can. And I feel like that sort of change is kind of making it hard for them to adjust. And they're trying to figure out their new boundaries going forward, because obviously they're not necessarily anticipating the fastness of this growth. Now, the other person here has got the Seven of Swords. I feel like this person thinks of this as a really big venture, a really big investment, a very, very big risk. Okay, leaving behind a lot of stuff here. As you see, this is what the Six of Cups, Six of Swords is also combined with. But I feel like this person is also leaving behind a lot. They're losing a lot. They're leaving behind a lot, and they see this as a really big risk, as a really big step in a direction that can be extremely promising. But it also can understandably make their back stand up. When it makes them really defensive, because whatever they're leaving behind is something that they have grown accustomed to. This is something that they have had roots in, you know what I mean? This is a really big step, a really big move in a different direction. So no, they're not going to be all gung-ho about it, perhaps, not in the sense of like, okay, this is exciting. They're going to feel that pain, or they feel that relief, or that release of what they've known. So this is a change of a perspective, change of a view. This is a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like this is also definitely putting a lot on them to rely on others, which is something they're not used to. Because we got the Five of Swords here as the underlying energy, which indicates, it can indicate compromise. It can indicate ruthless behavior, getting your way or the highway, you know what I mean? It can be that, it could be a lot of things that involve, standing behind a truth, or siding with people that, that you want to keep connections with. Because, the thing is with the Five of Swords is that this person has all these swords here, and he's stealing all these swords away, but he's losing people that he knows, losing people, colleagues, friends, even family members, because he's choosing what he believes, and choosing his way over them, over the relationships he's at. So he's severing ties. So that's that weird change, that dynamic, where you're leaving something behind, or you're cutting someone off, or you're sacrificing something for a different outcome. And it's always a choice with this one, but at the same time, it can feel like a bittersweet. Somebody's leaving something behind, but they could be getting something new. These people may not have been really good for this person, but he's losing friends, or they could be like, he could be, getting the house that he wanted, or something like that, but he's losing the people in the process, losing his colleagues in the process, because he's not interested in hearing what they have to say. He's not looking to help. He's not looking to do anything. Or these people are just trying to talk him out of it, and they were in the way. So it's a lot of those things, right? Sacrifice is one of the big things with the Five of Swords for me as a reader. And I feel like too, like it can feel like a really big defeat when you're the one compromising all of what you stand by for the relationship or for something. So this person feels like they're taking a huge risk. Now, where they're coming from, what they're doing here, they're transitioning, they're moving forward, they're changing. The Six of Swords is definitely one of the cards that will signify change, it signify moving forward. They're leaving behind so much, right? They're leaving behind so much. They're where they come from, where they've been, what I'm saying? They're taking risks, and they're doing that. They're very aware of the risks that they're taking, and it looks like they're really they're trying to focus on transitioning, leaving behind the old and embracing the new. Why? Because what brought you two together is the star and brand new beginning, something starting fresh. Both of you guys are starting fresh. As a matter of fact, you guys over here, if this is you guys, how you guys identify yourselves here in this reading, you're ready to make decisions. Start making decisions on where you guys are going to go, what path you're going to be taking. Because right now, you guys feel like this is a new start, new beginning, and there needs to be kind of like a course of action, right? Action needs to be taken, but there's a decision that needs to be made here. And I feel like that's why That's why a lot of this is not necessarily on a standstill, but there is defense because again, you guys are both sacrificing something. There's either someone's giving more than they are relieving, but I feel like this person's losing a lot more than this individual here. And the reason why is because this person's very comfortable in their comfort zone, and they could get a little stuffy in there. It could get a little stuffy to the point and so comfortable that they don't want to leave. But I feel like that's the thing too. This person's leaving their comfort zone just the same as theirs, but the way they're seeing this is as an opportunity to try something different, to try something new. Despite everything that they're losing, they're willing to do it because they see aspiration here. They see something to begin to manifest. They're defensive, but only because they may be defensive here, but I don't really necessarily get that. I get the more defensiveness on this side because of where we are coming from. But this person here is can be very well defensive as well, because the hangman talks about a change in perspective. This is something that they have learned and adapted to, and they now have to change that, right? They have to change a certain view of things, right? So that risk that they're taking here is definitely one where there may be a bit of reluctance on their part, but they're open to it because this is not a card that indicates, struggle in the sense of like, resistance in the sense, like serious resistance, more like resistance of certain ideas and perspectives because it's opposing yours. But to understand that, that's what they're trying to do. I feel this person is really understanding the necessity of changing their life. Well, this person over here on this side, they're doing the same thing, but it's harder because of where they're coming from. This is a sense of security for them. This change for them is big because this is where they feel comfortable. This is their spot. This is how they, they assess their accountability, their stability, their confidence. You know what I mean? Their independence. This is where they assess all that. To change all of this is about really a real big test of independence and confidence with this individual, not to have the things that they have to be surrounding them, right? Is the stuff that they are that they have around them truly of value to them, to the point where they have to make a decision whether or not this is something they want to let go of? Right? Because this person's coming from a place of comfort, but they know they're ready to leave this nest. But it's all about whether or not they see prosperity. They truly believe that they can carry themselves to prosperity, and I feel like they do. They do. They just feel like it's really fast and faster than they anticipated. And I don't see any real hindrance, anybody stopping or blocking the way. I don't know if this is really, is this anybody's really blocking anything? I mean, there's defensive energy, and the things that I can see here is two things. Both parties can be doing this, either one or both at the same time. This person could be holding on to a comfort zone, but they're also looking at different ways. And the reason why they're holding on to they're in a comfort zone right now, and they're kind of in a gilded cage, is because things are moving fast. Things are moving very quickly, and more quickly than they probably anticipated it to be. Well, this person could, instead of like taking risks and seeing the risks of it, right, which they probably still do, they also probably are avoiding the situation mentally, but they're acting as if they're moving forward. But the reason why is because they still haven't decided. They still haven't seen what they need to see before they take that risk. There's something that they need to get out of their situation before moving forward. So it's a grueling process. They're still transitioning, they're still moving forward, but this resistance is still put up because they are not ready. They don't feel ready yet, but they are. That's the thing. Right? That's the thing. And with let your friends help you, I think it's the thing is like everybody feels like they're kind of sacrificing a bit of themselves, losing a part of themselves with this, but they also are giving birth to a new piece of themselves that will eventually, get them to this place of happiness here. And oh my goodness, is the Wheel of Fortune underneath here? It is. It talks about second chances, second opportunities, second time around. Everybody knows what this means. This is a new opportunity in which you have the opportunity from a previous experience to do something differently. You know what I'm saying? So basically what I'm saying is like, even though everyone understands the risks, everyone understands that there's a huge transition, there's a huge movement, force going on, they're still leaving a piece of what they know behind, because this is an opportunity in which the last time they held on to some sort of perspective, it didn't go the way that they wanted to, right? Now this is their new opportunity to do something different with what they know, with what they've already experienced. They have an opportunity to take a new chance, which is why all these fresh new starts are coming out. All these changes and relieving of old ways of thinking, believing, and moving forward is going on, right? This new beginning that you had experience in already is coming back around for you to implement the new stuff, then implement the perspective that you gained last time. And I think some of this is hard. This is a little bit harder for some of you guys. Whether this is you or this is the other person, whatever, whichever side you resonate with, there's still a bit of learning to this, which is interesting, right? It's a learning curve to this still, because there's a piece of that perspective from last time that still hasn't gotten. And this is like the opportunity to really cement that and blossom. But the resistance is here. The resistance is here. And it's understandable resistance, because especially if this has brought someone comfort and safety and security, and it brought them independence and confidence in themselves at one point, or this is something that they've been living their life off of for a long time. This is a big change in how they think and how they live their lives. So it's not going to be a ballpark, right? It's not going to be a walk in the park, but it is going to be refreshing to walk on the other side, take the new opportunity with new perspective, with new ways of kind of going about and innovating your life. Because the star is like, we're going to start something new. We're going to start fresh. We're going to be doing some new things. But everybody's got their little, their little quirks about the changes. And I think ultimately everything just needs patience, right? Lending some hands, right? Allowing people space, but also extending a hand for help if they need that help to transition, to move forward. Maybe that pep talk, maybe to listen into that person's complaints, listen into the other person and what they're going through right now, because this is a huge change for everyone, both of you. And it is a win-win, or it's a win-lose kind of thing, right? You don't get everything, but you do get the thing that you want the most. And I think that's the hardest part. I think that's the hardest part for everybody here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Wisdom Oracle cards. Really clear reading this time, Capricorns. Wow. Y'all just be hitting me with some clear stuff. Ooh, fork in the road. I'm not sure if you guys got this last time, but definitely this is about a decision that needs to be made, taking the steps towards the direction that you want to take, because this is ultimately about what you're aspiring to, what you're trying to create, what you're trying to manifest, either together or separately. But the point is, the point of this message here with the fork in the road is that you have to make a choice, whether this is your destiny or not, right? You have to make a decision about where to go, because you can't move forward no more. The road has ran out. And you know that. I think you all know that. And it's hard to continue to go down a road with the perspective that you had. You have to change the view. You have to change the way you face it. You have to change all the way your feet is laying out, right? You got to change some pieces of yourself. But not to the complete sense of it, right? But change the view of how you approach manifestation, how you approach growth. Because this is not just about growth, it's also going to heal you. This is why this person's having such a hard time moving forward. Because a piece of this is about them letting go of some things in the past that wasn't really beneficial to them in the first place, that hasn't been bringing them any real prosperity, right? These are things that were, that were kind of not necessarily holding them back, but those were things that held them down for a little while. Now it's about letting this go, letting that piece of that fearful, that painful part of them go, so that way they can aspire for greater things and ultimately heal that space that pain was holding up. The star isn't just manifestation, it's about healing. And when you find that you're having a harder time moving forward for something, that's even more reason to let it go, because that's saying that you're willing to hold on to something old and to aspire for growth and healing. And that's a hard thing to realize. It's a hard thing to adjust to. But trust me, family, when you do that, you will find that you are in, you'll get to where you want to be. You won't always feel like you're the low of the low. You will truly arise to real confidence. You truly, feel free from things that truly weren't giving you the freedom, right? You'll be able to, you'll have different perspectives. You'll open your mind up. You'll be freer than you have been. And I did a post on Instagram, actually, I think it was a couple days ago, That's probably going to be the last post I post on there, because I post ever so often, and I was talking about crying, and crying is one of those things that really give that ability to release. And this, I see the star as like one of those cards here, right? The card to release, the card to, to feel something for, to release, to help you free yourself from the bonds that you've got, you know. And I'm not, this is a mournful energy, the Six of Swords. So it's not one of those cards like, oh, you moving on, you move forward. Some of y'all are definitely moving away, but it's still a hard thing to do because this is something that you have developed a serious growth from, right? You have come from something, and you're leaving that behind to become, to make something else, to create something new, and that's a hard thing. Both of y'all, both of you. So that's a sacrifice and a big step that honestly needs the honor of those emotions that's needed. But also understand that this is a healing process. This is a growing process. This is an aspirational process. And in order for you to be able to truly embrace it, you have to come up with the next steps. You have to take the decision in your hands and make the steps available to you. All right. Or to really start making those steps happen. Start making the decisions that need to be made, so that way you can start the growing and the healing process, right? Because you already have started it. You just kind of have to keep moving forward now. But the thing is that you're at a fork in the road. You can't move forward like that. But this is big. This is big.